I think we are live on
like
all stations. Yes, indeed. Happy new day. Well, happy midday.
Yes.
With Ari and Jay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the rhyme for
Yes.
me. Happy midday.
Yes.
So we've changed the title.
Nah,
because it is midday.
Well, it's midday here on the East Coast. It's still like 8 in the morning and 9 in the morning. Or this is in the morning time in Cali.
Okay, so still it is a new day. So happy new day.
Yes.
Happy and healthy family and friends. Welcome to episode 39.
39
of Happy New Day with Ari and Jay.
Yes.
We're getting there. We're getting there. And the next one will be 40.
Yeah, the big 40.
Yes. Yes. That is pretty monumental. So thank you all to those who have seen each video and keep watching.
Yes, we appreciate you.
Keep interacting. It's beautiful.
And we will do our best to share the good word and some good info that can be you can utilize to enhance and live your best life.
Absolutely.
As it has helped us live ours. Yeah.
Today's topic.
Wow, get some good D in your life, baby. That's what today is about.
That sounds.
Get some good D in your life.
Okay.
The importance and the benefits of vitamin D. Vitamin, yeah.
Depends on where you are.
Yeah, for our European brothers and sisters, the vitamins.
Vitamin.
I actually like vitamins.
I like vitamin.
Yeah,
as
vitamins.
well.
So vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Yes.
Yes. So, yes, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Yes, indeed. So, who's gonna start? You okay? I already know. Okay. Well, I'm gonna talk about the deficiency.
Yeah.
Like how to know that you're vitamin D deficient.
I think that is excellent. That is an excellent way to start. Y'all think that's an excellent way to start? I think it's an excellent way to start. Yes.
Just in case everyone isn't along for the whole ride, I'll start with what we should do to know for sure and for certain that we're vitamin D deficient or any nutrient deficiency. Get a blood panel from your doctor. That's where they draw blood and then they'll be able to tell you within an hour or so. That's how long it took for me. And they'll be able to tell you vitamin K, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin E. They'll tell you everything, where you are percentage-wise. So everyone go and get a blood panel. That's first. Okay, so the list. I have 10 ways to know whether you're vitamin D deficient. One is, let's see here, you lack energy. You have bone pain. You have frequent illnesses. You gonna say anything in there?
Yeah, well, why is that? Vitamin D is good for it's a phenomenal immune booster. So lack of vitamin D makes you susceptible to any and everything.
Yes. Yes. So bone pain, fatigue,
and then vitamin D that's the number one thing people talk about when it comes to vitamin D.
Yes.
Is it's good for your bones. It's crucial in bone development. It works with the calcium and whatnot to fortify and strengthen our bones.
Now, not fortified vitamin D.
Oh heck no.
What would be fortified? Like in your milk, and it would say fortified with vitamin D.
Well, milk actually has it, but it also has like mucus. It has viral strands in it, and when you pasteurize the milk, it's just bad for us all around. As a matter of fact, pasteurized milk isn't even good for baby cows or calves. And so,
Oh, yeah, right.
so inorganic, you want to make sure that you get organic sources for vitamin D.
Exactly.
Yeah, because otherwise, oh, I got that fortified orange juice or that fortified this and fortified that. No, that fortified is crap because your body will not absorb it. It won't process it. It processes very little, but there's so many fillers that come along with it that definitely steer clear of any inorganic sources of vitamin D. It's useless.
Yes. And I like association. Associate fortified with fake. Fortified equals fake.
Fake-defied. Yeah. Fake-defied vitamin D.
Yes.
Fake.
Even the different vitamins, because we want to stay with the trace minerals and food sources for these vitamins.
Yes, we want to look into natural sources. You want to get your vitamin D, any kind of vitamins for that matter, but definitely you want to get your vitamins from natural food sources.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the only way your body will fully absorb it and metabolize the vitamins and utilize them for what your body, the functions, your bodily functions. And so if you see anything that says, any vitamins, I remember I was actually last fall, my nephew, he looks after my grandfather. And he was saying that the doctor said that our grandfather was low in vitamin D. And so he actually gave him a prescription for the vitamin D. I mean, you can get it at the store, at the regular Walgreens or whatever. But he specifically named a specific vitamin D. And then my nephew was telling me, he said, you know what? Ever since he started taking that vitamin D, he started having diarrhea and started having these different issues or challenges. And I was like, what vitamin D do you have? And then he showed me this bottle. I'm not going to go into names because I ain't trying to get sued. But I tell you all, I implore upon everyone, whenever you go to get any vitamins, make sure you read the label, the ingredients. Because you'll be surprised more times than not. If there's anything on the label that you don't readily recognize as a food or some kind of natural source, if you can't pronounce an ingredient, and that goes for everything you eat, if there's an ingredient in there that you can't pronounce, your body cannot metabolize it. Sure. You can't. And so if your body can't process it, it's useless. And we don't do useless. Everything that goes into our bodies, we want to make sure that it's either giving us life or it's going to take away from our lives. And so, I choose life. I like living well. I like, feeling young and feeling vibrant. I like having energy. Mm-hmm. I like being, in a state of harmony, not dis-ease, out of alignment. And so, when I started looking at the ingredients, he was like, well, no, the doctor said this is the best one. I had to get this one. And I wanted to get get our grandfather the best. And I was like, man, give me that. I looked at the bottle. I was like, wait, hold up. And I don't recall all the ingredients off because I couldn't pronounce half of them. And I went and I started going. I said, look, check this out. This is how you check. And I started Googling each of the ingredients. And don't just Google the ingredient because the powers that be, they go through, and if you just Google the names of things, they're going to show you all the good stuff. But type in whatever the name of the ingredient is, and then type in side effects right behind it. And it gives you a whole different list of information. You're like, wait, whoa, where did that come from? Yes. And guess what was the top? The top ingredients in his so-called vitamin D. Guess what each of those ingredients did? It caused every symptom and every issue that my grandfather was having. Wow. In an effort for him to get his vitamin D levels up. And so and then his body wasn't absorbing it anyway, so it was useless. Yeah. So be aware of any inorganic sources of any vitamins, but in particular vitamin D.
Yes. Yeah. And the body doesn't lie. So it's these adverse reactions, or even the showing of deficiency, which I'll get back to that list, that it will tell you, and for sure, we're not saying do not go to the doctor, because they do have all of the tools to see where we are now. Just as I said before, the blood panel is very efficient in letting you know, and then you take that information and then do something with it, hopefully in a natural way.
Yes.
So I went through the fatigue, bone pain, frequent illness. 4 is depression.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How do you feel when you come from the beach?
Oh, I feel great.
That's not depression. So even having some time in the sun would help us.
Yeah.
It helps to lift our mood and our spirits.
Yeah, the beach gives you a double whammy because you not only get the benefits of the sun, which is the best way to generate vitamin D in your body, but then you have the benefits of the ocean as well. And so all the iodine that you receive from being near the ocean, and the regenerative effects of being charged by the ocean, and the vigor and the refreshingness.
Yes, indeed. Slow wound healing.
Yeah,
that has a lot to do with it too. Okay. Yes. Okay. Decrease in bone weight. So your bone density will be challenged if you do not have adequate vitamin D in your system. So that's, brittle bones. And even when we look at our seniors, and just as you're speaking on your grandfather, a lot of times, the senior, they broke their hip bone. No, their hip bone was not strong enough because the body doesn't have the right amount of nutrients to have and withstand or hold the weight and have strong bones. So that matters too.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. Hair loss.
Ooh.
Well, it seems as though we have good vitamin D.
Yeah, I
we
think
have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a lot of hair, and so do I.
They got a little bit.
So, yes. But for those who do have hair loss, vitamin D deficiency has to do with that. Yes. And stress.
Ooh.
Loss of hair, stress. Stress has a lot to do with why a lot of people are losing their hair, and with vitamin D as well. Muscle pain.
Yeah, because the vitamin D manages the mood, and so it keeps you more in a state of homeostasis as opposed to being up and down and whatnot. Yeah, so when we're in stressful situations, the lack of vitamin D will show up in a way that we're not able. It makes it difficult or makes it challenging to moderate our stress levels.
Muscle pain was next. Weight gain. That was surprising. Weight gain. And actually, vitamin D, I found, it was news to me that vitamin D helps to maintain a healthy metabolism.
Yes.
Okay, you knew that already?
It's great for weight loss. A lot of times with my female clients that are having challenges with their weight, and they're like, I tried everything, and I'm like, well, how much sun are you getting? They're like, well, I don't like the sun. It's gonna make me darker. I don't like the sun. I can get cancer from the skin cancer. I'm like, no. That's a whole nother topic in itself. We talk about like We'll talk about the sun a little bit. I'll go more into detail shortly.
Yes, and 10 is serious health complications. And I have a whole list here. One you mentioned, cancer. To actually not get sufficient vitamin D is a cause for cancer because it is a serious condition. MS is another one. Depression, as we just spoke on. Let's see, rickets, colds, flus, asthma, tuberculosis, diabetes, everything that we hear everyone having an issue with all the time, a lot of times can be helped or aided, healed with vitamin D. It's even more here. High blood pressure, heart disease,
Right.
Osteoporosis, cardiovascular issues or challenges, and as we said before, obesity.
Right.
So vitamin D is very important, and it could keep us having sufficient levels after getting your blood panel and making sure and listening to this list and checking it against your own life. It could be helped
Absolutely.
with a couple of changes. And the sun, you said we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, can I start with the conversation? Okay,
You
so
can always go first. Yeah, you always come first.
oh, you are so kind. I appreciate you. Yes.
Appreciate you.
Feels good. Feels good.
Yes, you do.
Oh goodness, this is true. Yeah. Okay, so I noticed, and I spoke to you about it, about how when I go out into the sun and I sit, and I didn't go for a long period of time, but I would incrementally have my time in the sun be longer, you know, and I noticed, especially when I first started, going into the sun, hitting that 30-minute mark after my timer goes off, and I can barely get to the door because I feel like I'm so drained. I felt like I was worse getting up than when I came and sat down. What happened? Why did that happen to me?
The sun is a natural detoxifier. And so when people go into the sun and they're having challenges, like, oh my God, I feel weakened, I feel some kind of way other than great or energized, it's because their body is trying to, you're experiencing what we call a healing crisis. And the sun, I mean, it emits a tremendous amount of energy, and it starts to purify us. And so it'll start to pull out. It's like having a crash course detox in one shot. As a matter of fact, they have machines that mimic, detoxification machines that mimic them. They're called ultraviolet photon machines and whatnot. And you get into this box, and the ultraviolet lights mimic the sunlight, basically. And so the healing properties, the healing aspects of sunlight. And so you can just go out into the sun and get that naturally. Now, the reason why people initially, like if I go out in the sun, I feel like, oh my God, I feel like I'm on cloud 1000. Like I come back and I'm just like ready to go. Like, you know, like in one of those video games, like charged up and I'm good to go. I work out in the sun. I do layout, stretch out in the sun. I mean, everything. I love the sun.
Yes.
But initially, especially if I ate some trash or some crap the night before, the day before, the morning of, prior to going out in the sun, oh yeah, it's going to start pulling all that out my system. And at that point, that's why it's important to stay to hydrate above and beyond normal capacity or normal amounts, because just like when you get a massage, a real deep tissue massage, it starts to dump all those toxins into your system, and if you don't have a way to eliminate those quickly, it'll just sit in your liver's got to process all of that, and so it starts to take you down and make you feel some kind of way. Just like when you do an extended, like a full body detox, you'll experience as things get broken down into your system, into your bloodstream, into your lymphatic system. You'll notice that you'll experience what they call a healing crisis. So imagine you're taking these herbs and you're having a healing crisis. You got the power of the sun, the most powerful energy in our solar system, beaming down on you, and that will absolutely initially. That's why it's important. You'll notice, like, the more cleaner my diet had become and more consistent my diet had became and is. Now, when I go out into the sun, it's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get out into the sun. As a matter of fact, heck, I can't wait till we're done, because guess where I'm going? Out on the deck in the sun.
Yes.
And so, definitely. So, what you're experiencing was that a healing crisis.
Yes, because I'm doing the herbs and the tinctures and all the spirulina. So I'm doing that. And then I go out into the sun. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Feeling like, and I've heard people say it's like the sun is not my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's like, no, your lifestyle is not your friend. And
my lifestyle is good.
No, I'm not talking about you.
Okay.
No. I'm talking about people that say that.
Yes.
No,
yes.
people that say that. No, because you're taking all the herbs and stuff you're taking is already pulling from your system. Now you add the sun, you just supercharged it.
Right, and I'm better now. So as I said, incrementally, I'm in the sun for longer periods of time.
No, absolutely. So no, I wasn't talking about you, but
yes,
you're doing something to pull it out. Now you add the sun to it. Now it's like, now it's like boom.
It went from like the oven.
Yeah.
It goes from like 350 to broil.
Yeah.
High broil. That's how I felt coming out of the sun.
So you had to drink like a lot of water and really hydrate afterwards, because your body has to clear and process all that stuff out of it. Otherwise, it just sits on you. And a healing crisis, for all those that don't really know what a healing crisis is any toxins that are sitting in the body, once they're released into the bloodstream, you'll have a short-term span where you actually feel whatever the effects of whatever those toxins are. So if you have toxins that cause a flu or give you flu-like symptoms, you'll feel like your nose will start running, get congested, you start having a sore throat until your body processes and pushes the toxins out. And so, where the toxins are stored is in the mucus, hardened mucus and plaque inside the arteries, inside different areas within the body and whatnot. And so when you're doing detoxing, those toxins, when that mucus is broken down and releases the toxins, boom, you'll experience a healing crisis if you're not hydrated enough.
Yeah, and that's the difference between when I was going outside and when I went into the photo machine?
It was ultraviolet photon machine.
The photon machine. I walked in there and I had water. I had a gallon of water. Right, and then you had got me some orange juice and everything. So I walked in there with water, but I knew what I was going into the photon machine. Where the sun, I didn't take it as seriously. No, when you go outside, take plenty of water with you, and it's hot. Yeah,
and so that's just a mimic or a man-made creation to mimic what the sun does naturally. So but that's what that was.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so a lot of times when people, I hear people like talk down on the sun and whatnot. The sun, any melanated individual, if you're having challenges with the sun, that's a sign that there's something going on with you internally. Period. Yeah, because, and so that's a challenge of maybe some kind of skincare products you're using. Because a lot of times, almost every lotion, anything that's not natural, like I said, if you look at on the label, and there's anything that you look at on the label that you can't pronounce, your body cannot process it. Do not put it on your skin. Do not ingest it in your body.
I do have a question. Okay, so I know people personally who go out into the sun and their skin breaks out with rashes. Why would that happen to them?
Because the sun has a natural tendency to break up toxins in the system. So if you get a rash, that's a sign of blood toxicity.
Okay.
Because any kind of skin conditions, that's a sign that there's heavy toxins within the blood, and your body is not filtering the blood out properly. And so when it doesn't have a way to filter itself out naturally through your urinary tract or through your lymphatic system, then it turns around and it dumps out through your skin. And so the sun is a purifier. And so when you go out in the sun and boom, I get a skin rash, well, that's a sign of something going on inside your blood that your body's trying to detoxify from. And so we go through two stages. There's the detoxification aspect of it, and then there's an enhancement part of it. And so the sun will detoxify you first, clear out all the nonsense that's going on inside the body. And then secondly, it will enhance you. And so, like for me, now that I've moved into my body's clear. Now every time I go out in the sun, I'm having a whole experience. It's a whole orgasmic vibe. Like in interacting with nature and just feeling life. That vibration, and I'm feeling that my vibration increase. And so when I hear people talk bad about the sun, I'm like, no, there's something going on within when people start having those challenges, because the sun is going to purify you first, and then it's going to enhance you. Like, say for instance, there's a few things that the sun does. It brings the DNA back into alignment. And so the positive aspects of our DNA, during that detoxification process, it clears us out. Now it puts us in position so that our body's making good DNA, or not DNA, but good regenerating itself. Yeah, so it puts our DNA back into alignment so that as we're producing new cells and stuff like that, as far as gene expression, because people say, well, dang, y'all look so young for y'all ages and whatnot. Yeah, that's because of the time that we spend in the sun. Because the sun and the vitamin D, the sunlight transmutes the effectiveness of the vitamin D to help our bodies really, regenerate on a whole nother level. So on a cellular level, connects us with, on an energetic level as well. For the brothers, it's great for semen cultivation. It clarifies your semen and it purifies it. And so that's something that you really want to, be aware of when it comes to, getting that sunlight. And so, and it clarifies you, not only your semen, but you, yourself. The sunlight is great for opening the nadis, the energy centers in the body. And it feeds them. And so we got to have that sun. And it's the number one source of vitamin D. Now, what it does is it doesn't necessarily give the body vitamin D, but it helps the body. Vitamin D is something that's processed and produced within the body. And so it creates just like plants and whatnot have, like they call photosynthesis, the sunlight gives the body vitamin D synthesis. And so that's why it's so important and why it's so vital. Vitamin D is probably one of the most vital nutrients, or actually, they call it vitamin D because they didn't have another name for it, but so they say it's vitamin D, yeah, but it's probably one of the most important nutrients, minerals, whatever you want to call it, for the body because it allows our body to process things on a whole. It enhances the processes of the body in so many different ways. And so let's see. Maureen mentioned I take Nature Made D1000. 1000 I use. The ingredients are soybean oil, gelatin, glycerin, water. FB doesn't allow me to upload the photo on a live feed.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Anything that says IUs on it, international units, that's measured that way, typically, Maureen, is not natural. As a matter of fact, if you can do me a favor or do us a favor, inbox us or DM us a photo, a picture of the label, or after the live is over, just post it into the chat as well. Either or just hit us in the DM with the actual name of the product, and then I'll go through it. Yeah, because I actually enjoy doing that. Because a lot of times on different products that I may not have utilized in the past or had exposure to in the past, it broadens my understanding of what all, what products have, what types of, what ingredients in them. Yeah, because soybean oil, soybean sounds good, but when you realize that 99% of the soybeans that exist on the planet today are genetically modified, I'm pretty sure, unless it goes into a whole organic made, no, and it specifically says no GMOs, even though that's the case, it might not even be the case. But soybeans in general, because of the industrialized farming system, commercialized farming system, anything that has soy in it, I run from because 9 times out of 10 is GMO. Gelatin in general, what they make gelatin out of usually has some sort of pork product, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then glycerin. Depending on there's naturally occurring types of glycerin, and then 99% of everything else is some sort of combination of some things that may not be the best for you. And so I'd love to if you can shoot us either like after the live, Maureen, if you can post that in the chat, or just DM us, and then we'll tap back in with you on that. That's excellent. I appreciate you posting that information. But but anytime you see something that says international units on it, 9 times out of 10, that's a sign that it was made in somebody's lab, and it's not a naturally. It's some kind of formula or whatnot, and so that's a sign that it's inorganic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a sign that it's inorganic.
And there are things that are on the market. Mm-hmm. That's not the end all be all, and we all are trying. We're mm-hmm. not. Excuse me, I don't try. We're all doing our best to stay healthy, and it is on platforms like this where we can find out together. So mm-hmm. A more one that's better on the system, we'll look into that and provide that too, mm-hmm. an answer.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Or a solution, because that's mm-hmm. what it's all about, solution based.
Yeah, like for us, when it comes down to it, we choose to get our vitamins and whatnot, unless we're doing some sort of specific protocol, comes from the foods that we eat. Mm-hmm. And so if you're looking for good sources of vitamin D, spinach, kale, collards, greens, okra. I love okra.
Are there any more left?
No, I ate last left. Yeah. Well, see, I'm doing the raw food.
Well, I know. But see, now I find out now. But if I was going to make some okra then I'll go in the freezer or the
We're gonna be
refrigerator.
making okra.
But see, that's what did we talk about yesterday?
I'm sorry.
We talked about communication.
I'm sorry.
We have to talk about communication.
You saw I had the bag out yesterday.
What does that mean? Clear and concise communication. I love
I
that.
ate all the okra.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Now we know that all the okra is gone.
My bad. I ate all the okra.
All
But
the
it was
okra is
good.
gone.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Well,
Oh my
yeah.
God, it was so good. Yeah, so okra is really good. Then they have sources. That's actually vitamin D is prevalent in certain fish as well. So salmon, sardines, perch. What is that? Rainbow trout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you want freshwater fish and whatnot. Because you definitely want to avoid any kind of or minimize any kind of mercury their interaction with the mercury. But those are good sources for vitamin D.
Yes.
Mushrooms are good. Mushrooms are good. Sea moss, even though they say sea moss is low in vitamin D, but it is so heavy in vitamin K. And vitamin K and vitamin D run. Usually whenever there's vitamin K, there's vitamin D, and so they run together. And so even though it doesn't necessarily sea moss, it doesn't show up so much in sea moss, but it is prevalent in there. But because of the vitamin K, I chalk it up as a good source for vitamin D. But heck, you can't go wrong with sea moss. It's got 92 of the 102 minerals and vitamins that we need anyway to live.
Sea moss is life.
So some good Irish sea moss is solid.
Wildcrafted.
That part. So remember, organic sources for vitamin D. If at all possible. I mean, the number one easiest way to do it is spend 10, 15 minutes a day in the sun every day. Yeah, because that was one of the challenges with the pandemic. It was the fact that people weren't going outside. Yeah. And so when you talk about like immune issues or immune challenges, that was one of the the biggest issues was people weren't going outdoors, and so they weren't getting any exposure to the sun, which makes them more susceptible to diseases and challenges or health challenges and whatnot. So that's something, at least 10, 15 minutes a day. Just go. You ain't got necessarily have to lay out in the sun half naked like we do, but at least just go get some sun on your head, and your hands and your feet, if at all possible. So wear some sandals, and let that sun hit you for a good 15 minutes a day. And just doing that and staying hydrated will definitely enhance your life. In many different ways, and then especially if you couple that with a clean diet. Now, if you got issues going on dietary wise, it's gonna pull you down because that sun is trying to detoxify you. If you're using lotions, unnatural lotions and unnatural soaps and stuff like that, as I remember when I first learned, I got sunburned. I was like, how the heck did I like black people don't sunburn? And I was like, wait, what on earth is going on? I was at the beach in Cali. I think I was like 18. Yeah, I was like 18. And it was a combination of two things. The toxins in the water at the time, because I remember I got out of the water and then laid out and I fell asleep. It was a combination. It was a combination of that. And then also the lotions I was using, they had parabens in them. And parabens, when you connect that with the sunlight, what's the thing the sun wants to do? It wants to purify you, it wants to detoxify you. And so when it starts to, and so it wants to burn all that stuff up out. And how does it purify you? It purifies you with fire. And so the fire is going to turn anything it changes the composition of things. And so you have those parabens in your skin. And then added that with the whatever was going on in the water from whatever toxic spills that was going on that we were unaware of at the time, and boom, then you start having these negative interactions with the sun. This is melanated individuals. That's what I'm referring to, because otherwise the sun is, that's where we get our energy from. You couple that sunlight with the melanin. Oh my God, it's on. It is on like Donkey Kong. Like it will help you. It helps you tap into your God-like nature, it gives you those superhuman abilities if you're in alignment with that. And so the sun is everything. And so when I hear black folks talking, our folks talking about, oh, I can't go in the sun is gonna burn me, or I gotta put on this copper, or I'm not gonna say name. Gotta put on this suntan, this sunblock, and walking around all pasty. I'm like, are you serious? Oh no, my God! When I see black people walking around with sunblock on, I just be like,
and throw away the Vaseline.
Oh yeah.
Throw it away.
Shoot, that's that glycerin.
Throw it away. Throw away the Vaseline. Do not put it on your babies. Don't put it on your lips. Don't throw the Vaseline today. Now. Yeah. That's no more use.
You may as well be putting gas on yourself or something.
Petroleum. They tell you exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Petroleum. Yeah.
Well, I mean, petroleum.
Yeah, but actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, with that being said, you have anything else, my love?
I have lots more. But for today's topic, it is sufficient.
It's sufficient. And so it is. So, with that being said, make sure you get some good D in your life, baby. Organic D. That's the good D. Put some D in it. No. Put some D on it. Oh, get some good vitamin D in your life. It will definitely enhance your state of being on so many ways. It's great for people that are having challenges with depression. Go out in the sun for a few. Go out in the sun, get you some sunlight, enjoy some nature. Take your shoes off, twiddle your toes in the grass. That'll help you stay grounded. I'm going outside. Felicia says I'm going outside today for sure. Outdoors, right? Yes.
Girl, I see you on that bike. Please, loving it. Yes, enjoy all of it.
Get it all. Yes, as a matter of fact, because I'm about to go out and before my Tantra Tuesday talk on YouTube, I'm gonna go get charged up and meditate for the show. So yeah. So, and with that being said, get some D in your life. Get some good D. Some good D, baby, in your life.
Yes.
Vitamin D. Get some good, enjoy. Play in the sun. Enjoy it. And live your best life. Yeah, live your best life. I mean, and it's easy to do. It's just a matter of just making a change here, a change there, and being consistent with that. And, because we don't have to live in a state of dis-ease, as they say. We can be in alignment with the Most High and enjoy life to the fullest.
Yes.
And live in our God-like nature and selves and all that good stuff.
Yes. And I know people who, they may not bathe every day, which is another topic. They may not bathe, but the sun comes out every day, thankfully. So even though we may not be on point, source is always on point. It's going to bring that sun out. It's always on rotation, so it's our gift to us, and we benefit from it, as we can see deficiencies and all the health challenges. So get some good
D, baby.
Vitamin.
Hey, man. Deacon Tremaine says, peace. Appreciate the message. Blessings to you, brother.
Peace.
Appreciate you for checking in with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Well, baby. You ready to rock and roll?
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that being said, have a phenomenal And happy Tuesday. Get some sunlight. Get some good D in your life. It makes it all right. All right. Well, I love you.
I love you.
Mwah. And we love you all. Peace and blessings.